Hi there, I'm glad to see you again. This time we are drawing a panda in a tree. So get your pencils, your eraser if you need it, and your Sharpie marker, or your Micron pen if that's what you're using. And let's get started. With the panda, since his head is over here, his body comes this direction, and we have this tree right here. So we want to draw the eyes about right here. So over here, see how far I am from the corner? I need room enough to build his head and his ears up. So I'm going to start with the pupil of his eye, which is the black part of his eye. And I'm going to shade it in, darken it, and just leave a little white spot. That's called a highlight. I'm going to angle down over, see where my finger is pointing, and right where it's pointing, I'm going to draw another circle, and I'm going to shade it in until all you see is a little dot. Again, that's a highlight. Since he has black patches or dark patches on around his eye, we need to leave white areas of paper. And sometimes as artists, we call those areas paper dams, little areas. So I'm going to put my pencil right here, and if I exaggerate, I'd rather exaggerate and leave more than I need, because I can always come back later and color away if I've made too big of a space. Let's do it on the other side. Curve down and up. And I think I might color away a little more to match the other side, but if you want more white, go for it. You can keep it. Next step, this eye points down to where the nose begins. So I'm going to take my finger like this, put my pencil down, angle up, curve this way and that way until they meet, and I'm going to shade it in. I might leave a little bit of a white spot because that shows highlight. All highlight means is that we as artists are showing where the light is hitting something. So if the light's hitting his nose, we can see his nose better if there's a little white spot on it. This angle line like this, and then we're going to go where this nose is, we're coming down, and angle line up, and then over. We've got a smile. I'm going to build his eye patch, because as I build his eye patch, we're going to build his nose. So if we're starting over here, I'm going to be very close to this eye, and I'm going to wiggle up, angle over, and turn back down. Let's go over on this side. I'm going to start with what looks like a curve around the eye, but then I'm going to swing out, and I'm going to touch the side of his mouth, angle a little bit below the mouth, turn, follow how the mouth is, and turn up a little bit. Come back on top, wiggle around, touch the nose. Now, you don't have to do this right now, but I'm going to do it so that you can see what I mean, why we had to draw those eyes. Because if you do this with your Sharpie or your ink pen, all you're going to see are the white highlights that we saved in the eye. If you're coloring or painting, you may want to choose a different color than black. That's totally up to you. I've seen students use red and purple, other colors to make their dark patches on their panda bear. That's what I call artistic license. You're the creator of your own artwork. You make that choice, and you'll get ideas as you're drawing. There we go. We got two eye patches. Now we're going to go for the ears. This eye points where the ear is over here, and it's pretty high up. Angle, curve up, angle over, attach. Again, this is going to be blackened in. I am using my Sharpies up. That's a good sign. I'm doing a lot of drawing. Okay, now this eye shows us where the other ear is going to be, and it's not going to be too far up above this one. So I'm going to go like this, put my pencil here, angle up, kind of curve down, angle over, and make it attach like this. Again, we're going to shade it in. That's just what I use for blacking it in with my ink pen. Now look at that. You see how gray that's become? I think it's time to switch pens. Ah, this looks good. Sometimes giving them a rest between using them so much will help them get their ink back flowing. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make his top of his head look furry. You can always draw with a pencil line and then come back and do this with ink. And actually I'll do that for you so you can see what I mean. You can draw a pencil line from here to here, and then instead of drawing that in with ink, you can if you want, or you can put little tiny short, little longer, little tiny hairs to show that he has a furry head. And I start on the pencil line and I go up, and then that's it. And you can do the same thing starting on this side. You can use your pencil, you can angle and turn. You're going to go right below his chin and curve up and touch his ear. And it's the same thing, just little tiny dots, little lines, a little longer than a dot, but just little. Just to know that he's kind of shaggy. He's a panda bear. They eat bamboo, don't they? And I can believe it's the koala bears that eat the eucalyptus. Sometimes I do pandas and we'll put a forest of bamboo behind him, and that's fun to do. All right, now we've got his head. Can you see that okay? Good. Next step, this head is pointing to where his paw is. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw his toes. I see 5, and so I'm going to draw a curve like this, 1, another curve like this. I'm leaving an opening, and there's a reason. You don't have to. You could make a full circle if you're using a pencil. But if you're not using a pencil and you're doing what I'm doing, you need to leave it open because I have to draw his claws, and they're white. And so here we go. I'm putting them in, one right after the other. Now I can finish underneath, and I have his little paws. They are black for sure, but I'm going to show you something, what I'm going to do so you can see it better. Now, I'll do it in just a minute. Before, I want to make sure I get his other paw in, which in this case, it looks a little lumpier, kind of like curve up, in this direction, kind of like this. Before I finish it, I'm going to come back here and make his claws, which are just curves, candy cane shapes, come back in. That's all they are. And then I'll bring the lines together like this. We'll worry about coloring them later. I want to build, in order to show the panda's body, we definitely have to build the tree. So I'm going to put my pencil here, and I'm going for it right here. This is what I'm going for. So I'm going to put my pencil and draw a line, touch his head, pretend I go through this part and go off the page. Then, after I do that, I'm going to put my pencil right here, And I'm going to draw it to touch the first toe, jump over, and go off the page this way. I'll come back and swoop down like this. And then over here he has another hand. Before I can finish the tree trunk, I've got to place the hand. I know it's right angle away from here, so I use my fingers to kind of show me where I need to be, and then I draw what looks like a candy cane shape again. This time I make a claw. I'm only going to draw 3, 2, and then 1 more. Great. Now I'm going to take my pencil and go straight down, stop, go angle up off the page, come back down from the edge of the page, and swoop all the way down to the end of your paper. I'm going to continue this little fellow here. I'm going to draw a little curve to show that he's hanging on for dear life, and then angle or straight up and down line all the way up. This will be dark. This is an easy one to darken for you to see. I want you to see all of it, so I'm going to save some of my gray pens here to show you where this little guy is. Let me see where I put that gray pen. Let's see. Good. Here it is. I told you those gray markers come in handy. See, this is kind of gray. I don't want it too dark. I'm going to pretend the whole thing's has light on it so we can see it against the super black that will come behind him. Let's make his neck. And it's going to be a line from here to here. Again, I want you to see this area, so let's draw it with our gray Sharpie. You don't have to. You'll use whatever colors, whatever pens you have. I'm doing it so you can see it better, and you'll understand why when I color this part in black. And then you'll go, oh, I can see now, and I want you to see all the parts. It's important. Okay, now let's get busy. Let's go ahead and blacken in, and I'm going to make a little paper dam there too, so I'm not going right up to the hand, so you can see that. Alright, so we'll just work a little bit on this side. I might come back over here and work a little bit here. I'm going to work quickly. I'm not going to worry about making a perfect picture right now. I just want you to see how it looks blackened in. So we're going to work fast at this point. Now, if you are using Sharpie to be your black of your panda, you can go ahead and do that right now. If you're going to use a different color, you could go ahead and do that right now, right in this area, while you are watching. Just pause the video and come back after you've got your supplies that you need. Sometime we'll have to draw the bamboo forest so you can see how bamboo is made. Bamboo is fun. Really fun to draw and paint. Do you see how you can see that hand better? Because I had a gray Sharpie. And I'm going to make a little bit of a little white line here so you can see. That's a little secret with ink drawings. Whenever you're doing something in black and white, that means just using an ink pen, you want to leave little spots and lines of white here and there so you can see things more clearly. So they don't all blend into each other and become a big lump. because all that hard work that you did drawing, it's important to be able to see it when you're finished. Okay, we're almost done. I think this was probably the hardest, or not hardest, but the longest part. But I'm proud of you. You didn't give up. You kept going. All right, here we go. There we go. We've got that part. Now we're going to finish this foot. We're going to put our pencil here. Pretend we go through the branch. Drop it on the other side of the branch. Angle away. Turn. And come back where we see this toe. This is black again, so let's go ahead and do it now since we've been doing it already. Sometimes, if I'm going to color this in later and I don't want to do all the black right now, I will do something very simple. Let me show you on a piece of scratch paper. I will just do these diagonal lines like this to remind me later on. I'm going to darken that in. That's just a little trick. All right. There we go. We've got a foot. Now we have a bottom that's resting on another branch that's in the shadows. So we'll put a pencil right here on his foot, angle away, turn and come up, and this is the lighter part. If you want to show some shading and shadows in the face area, you might want to have a few little lines coming this way, and maybe a few little lines coming this way. And again, you might see a few little lines, and these are what I call crisscross lines. They're just not too long, not too short, and they're just sort of working my way down just to show there's some shadow there. Okay, he's on another branch, and actually, let me just grab a little bit of this paper here so we can go. I can show you if you have more space than I do. You will have kind of a curved line like this. And remember how I told you about shading with lines? You can do that right here, so you know this is a shadowy part of the tree and not a part of the bear itself. And then over here is where you would do the branch going off the page, maybe forking out and going like this. And again, we would do those little angle lines like that, so we know that it's in the shadow. Be sure to like this video, give me the thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube page, and you can always follow me on Instagram at Heidi's Art Studio. Thank you for watching. I sure enjoyed it. Until next time.